The Groove mattress in a box delivers revitalizing sleep right to your door for a dreamy low price. Buy it online or try it today at your local Ashley. Groove, simply wonderful sleep for a happier you.
Cole, he's my miracle child. So how does your miracle child get cancer?
Good morning, everybody. I now call this meeting to order at exactly 9 o'clock. Madam Secretary, you may proceed with the roll call.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to proceed with the roll call. Staff senators, if you could please mark present in the chat so that we can mark your presence and attendance to the meeting today. We would appreciate it. I'm going to now start calling names. Claudia Dole Morrison, Armando Garza, Tammy Munoz, Laura Ramos, Verónica Villarreal, Noelyn Lazos, Nicole English, Rolando Segovia, Karina Herrera, David Guerra, Jasmine Zuniga, Ashley Mercado, Maribel Mata, let's see, Orlando Castañeda, Juan Santos Flores, Alicia Puentes, Mónica Granado, Cordelia Raza, Irene Cárdenas, John Garza, Kelly Quinn, Melba Cantu, Rogelio Chanes, Karen Dorado, Melanie Garza, Yadira Mejia, Cristina de Leon, Javier Salinas, and Ricardo Lopez. We have achieved quorum. Thank you, Madam President and staff senators.
All right. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Now we will move on to welcome and introduction. Welcome you all to our staff Senate meeting for July. We do have a couple of items in the agenda, and so we want to make sure that you all are fairly informed and get to be part of this wonderful meeting. And again, we're excited to have you all here. First and foremost, I do want to welcome our new Vice President for Staff Senate, Ms. Veronica Villarreal. She'll be sharing a couple of words, and again, we're excited to have you all here.
Good morning, staff. I am very pleased to have stepped into the Vice President role within Staff Senate, and I am very excited to continue collaborating with campus partners to ensure success in our efforts. We are here to serve you. So if you have any questions, any feedback, please feel free to let me know, to let our committees know, and I'm really excited to be here.
All right. Thank you, Madam Vice President. Moving on to new business, we have the approval for meeting minutes for May 2022. Is there a motion on the floor for the approval of meeting minutes of May 2022?
I move to approve the April 2022 meeting minutes.
All right. Is there a second?
I second.
I second.
All right, and that will be from Lauro Romo. Are all those in favor, please state aye in the Zoom chat. All opposed or any abstentions? All right, we have a majority of ayes. Moving on to our approval of meeting minutes for June 2022. Is there a motion on the floor for the approval of meeting minutes for June 2022?
I I move to approve the minutes for June 2022.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
And that's from Staff Senator David Guerra. All those in favor, please state aye in the Zoom chat. All opposed? Any abstentions? All right, majority are ayes. All right, motion passes. We will start off with our committee reports. So we will start off with our Communications Committee. We have our chair, Tammy Munoz, and our co-chair, Melanie Garza.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Melanie, and Tammy is here with us today also. Real quickly, from the Communications Committee, we don't have that many updates, but we hope you are following our pages. We post events and useful resources on there, and we have over the past month. So we do invite you all to share any ideas you have or any upcoming events. Feel free to include them in the chat. I'll be keeping note, or email them to staffsenate@utrgv.edu. I'm also going to include our QR codes to our social media pages in case you want to follow us today. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Madam Co-Chair Garza. Next up, we have Elections and Constitution Committee. Our chair for that is Ms. Monica Granado, and our co-chair is Irene Cardenas.
Good morning. The committee has been busy working on wrapping up the process of sending off some proposed amendments to the Constitution for voting. These amendments have already gone through the process of revisions and reading. They've been approved and they just need to go out for a vote. And we're expecting to have that out by the first week of August. So check keep an eye on your emails for that. You can find the current Staff Senate Constitution on the quick links menu on the left-hand side of the Staff Senate website. I'll post the link in chat. That's all I've got for you today.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Up next, we have our feedback committee. We did have an update, as y'all have made notice. Our chair was Ms. Marissa Campirano, who is now our secretary. As per, just policy, just want to make sure that y'all are fully aware. She's now part of our e-board committee. So an e-board member cannot be a chair within the committee. So therefore, there is a switch. And therefore, our new chair, welcome, is Ms. Jasmine Zuniga, and our co-chair is Marissa Campirano.
Hello, morning, everyone. Sorry, first time. So we did have a lot of updates on our feedback committee. We did have a meeting with HR on some concerns that you all did have that you reported on our website, on our Staff Senate website. So we do have a few updates. Is it okay if I share my screen?
Yes, absolutely. Let me give you that access. Give me a sec here. All right, you can go ahead, Jasmine.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So this is just some of the feedback that we did get. There are some things that we are still pending and that's still ongoing. But the most part for those items that we did reach out, we did get some for the tuition. We do have some links on here if y'all want to go ahead and copy some of that. For the tuition, they did address the Advantage program. They gave us a little link for that if you guys want more information on it. When it comes to some of the, the wage increases, they did talk about that. There was also a newsletter that went out. And then there's also a link for the longevity pay. So they did address some of those issues. If you all still have any questions, please reach out and we can go ahead and get more information. If this doesn't cover it for you, and we can get more and we can set up another meeting for that. Yeah, that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. Up next, we have our Staff Success Committee. Our chair is Ms. Maribel Mata, and our co-chair is Veronica Villarreal.
Thank you, Madam President. Good morning, everybody. So the Staff Success Committee within the Staff Senate wants to continue promoting mental health awareness. And with that said, we have an expressive arts session tomorrow in collaboration with Dr. Ben. So that was sent out via email. There was a flyer sent out, and there was registration was available through the training portal. We are capped out, so yay. We're excited that we're at capacity already. So for those of you that registered, we're excited that you did, and we'll be seeing you tomorrow. You will be working on creating your own room sprays using essential oils. We are also still working on the satellite sites that are pending for Meet Your Staff Senators. We have secured a location in Harlingen and Weslaco, and we're pending a response from McAllen, but that will be next week on the 22nd from 3 to 4:30. More information is forthcoming. So that's all we have for you this morning. Thank you.
How exciting. And of course, if you all have any other ideas or events that you all like to see, just to ensure that, you know, we are here at Unified, and just want to make sure that you all are, you know, part of this bigger picture and experience at UTRGV. It's not just an 8 to 5 job, you know, it's actually, we're making a difference here. And I want you all to have fun as well. So up next, we're gonna start off with our guest speakers. And so you all are probably very excited to hear that we have our very first pediatric school. And so with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Dr. Javier Lafontaine, the Dean of School of Pediatric Medicine. And so I'm excited for all of us to hear what he has to say. And, you know, I know y'all got to get that message from Veronica and I, and just on behalf of Staff Senate, and, you know, it's starting off with us on the right foot. So Dr. Javier Lafontaine, you're up next.
Well, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to address you all today. Veronica and I have been talking about it for some time and trying to get prepped. So hopefully I can get you as much of the information I can share for you with you. So let me just share my screen. I have few slides. I promise you I won't bore you about talking about feet. But I think is we are all part of the school now, right? So I think we need to know a little bit of what we do down here. So can you, let's see, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yep, okay, good. Okay, so again, I'm Javier Lafontaine. I'm the Dean of the Podiatry School as of July 1st. I came here 6 months ago as the Academic Affair Associate Dean. So when I first came here, we were just working in the accreditation process, and basically the past 6 months, that what we did until finally we got the candidacy status on June 9th. And that kind of put us a little bit on a crunch because we couldn't do any enrollment, any recruitment, nothing until we got the candidacy status. So basically, once we got the status, then we have been recruiting, actively recruiting, enrollment, creating the website, well, launching the website. We created it during accreditation process, hiring faculty. I mean, we just been doing everything. So, but finally the work has been paying off, and we're really excited about having the podiatry school, especially in the Valley area. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. Went to private practice for a few years, but it really didn't like it. So I came back and pretty much worked for the past 17 years in the public service. So I work in the UT Health Science Center in San Antonio, working in the VA system for a little bit. And I came from UT Southwestern in Dallas to the Rio Grande Valley. So so again, I mean, I think it's very important to mention that there are very specific reason why the school is down here. It's basically the goal of the state is to have pediatric medicine in Valley because it's an underserved area for pediatric care, but also with the goal of getting students from this area, students from Texas, to come down here, train, and fall in love with Rio Grande Valley, and they stay, right? So the main mission of the school is to connect with the community, and that way we can serve them, provide the best foot and ankle care to it, but also try to enroll students from here, become healthcare professionals, and stay here to give care. You know, obviously they don't all have to be here from here, but from Texas in particular. Me and my family and I, we really fell in love with Rio Grande Valley for the past 6 months. People are great. We eat well. I mean, we have a lot of friends. My kids are really happy in the school system. They go to the Harlingen school system. We believe that that's the way to go for education. So we support the school district. So we're here to stay. But now that we have the School of Pediatric Medicine down here, I like to spend maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes on really talking a little bit about what pediatric medicine is. Interestingly, we've been interviewing students, and it's amazing to have students sometimes, or, in the past, even patients say, what's pediatric medicine is, what a foot doctor do, or what a foot doctor does, or are you the same as podólogo, like in America and South America, So a lot of basic questions that we need to answer. But now that we're here, you all are representative of us, right? So hopefully after you leave here, any student that asks you, you can say, you know what? These are the foot and ankle specialists, but I got the right person that you can talk to. But the goal that we always use as in our profession is to keep America walking, and obviously here, keep Texas walking. And that is very important, right? Because everything we do that is health related, exercise is important, right? But if you don't have the good feet, right, how you even gonna do that, right? Unless you go into swimming or biking or something like that, and it's still important. But in a nutshell, that's what we do, right? We are the specialty of the foot and ankle, so medically and surgically. So we can fix a painful callus to foot and ankle fractures, right? So it's a big spectrum, and can be older people, can be younger people, sport medicine, diabetes, like you probably all somehow relate now, being, living down here in the Rio Grande Valley. So this is just not in the United States, this is global. I mean, when it comes to diabetes, it's essentially, it becomes pretty much almost a health policy when it comes to foot health and diabetes. But, you think, if you think about it, I mean, you probably do more walking at home or at work than when you actually go walking for exercise. And you need to remember, even though we put a lot of the weight in the foot and the ankle, they're not supposed to hurt. Okay, so you walk 8 hours, 10 hours a day, and you say, "Oh, I hurt because I just walk a lot." No, that's the wrong approach. Your feet should not hurt when you're in your activities. But it's a good thing. What we like to try to tell students is like, listen, the foot and ankle is just not dealing with ingrown toenails and a bunion. They reflect problems that happen in your feet. Heart disease manifests in the foot, diabetes, arthritis, cancer. I don't know if you guys like Bob Marley, but Bob Marley died of melanoma on the big toe. So it can be, I mean, it goes really truly from head to toe when you're dealing with the foot and the ankle. And believe it or not, women are more, 4 times more likely to get foot problems. So these are good information for you to keep in mind and for the student. But podiatrists can practice basically just about anything, just like any other medical profession. You can have your office, you can stay in your office, you can do surgery most of your time, you can go and work, you can have your own business, right? You can work for industry, you can do, many things, but it's very satisfying because it's the profession where people come with pain and they leave your office, and most likely they will be out of pain. You can make that significant difference, right? And students, can make a living. I mean, it's a very rewarding profession financially, and you can take it as far as you want to. But it's important because just like medicine, there are a shortage of pediatric physicians. By 2030, about almost half of the podiatrists gonna be over 65 years old. So we're looking at, who gonna take care of the foot health in America, right? So it's very important for us to recruit students and keep growing the profession. And baby boomers are now getting older, so they need foot care, and diabetes is an epidemic in the US, right? And that comes along with overweight and obesity. So it's kind of a whole circle that comes together when we're really talking about foot and ankle health, right? It's not just kind of just very narrow vision, but it's actually a big scope when we talk about that. But going to the nitty gritty, just for those of you that are working admissions or student success, or just talking to students, and maybe some of you might have kids that are looking into becoming a physician or a healthcare professional, and this might be a good option for them. Who knows? But so you need 90 hours of college credit, and there's specifics, right? There's your science, your English, your math requirements that you can go to our website and find out. Most of our applicants have college degree, but you can have 90 hours, right? And you have to take the MCAT, just like medical school. You have to take that MCAT and to be able to apply. There are 9 podiatry schools. Now we are the 10th podiatry school in the nation. You can see we are the only one in Texas. And the other one that's set as southern as ours is Barry University in Miami, Florida. Everything else is kind of on the west or the northeast coast of the United States. Just like any other medical profession, we do residency programs. Residency is 3 years. Which is a great opportunity for students, those that don't want to, those, for example, that want to do surgery. For example, if you go the career of medicine, you have to at least do 5 years. Most of them require some type of specialty, which is 1 to 2 to 3 years length. So you can still have an office practice, but also be a kind of a surgeon in a shorter amount of time, which sit well, with a lot of people now that, a lot of students don't want to have these long careers. And by the time you're done during your mid-30s, or even later, to be able to fulfill your wishes to become a healthcare professional. So these are the residency programs in Texas. San Antonio is the most southern one, but is the only one in the UT system. But you can graduate from here and go there. There are about 100, about 500 residency programs in the United States. So the goal of the school is now being here to grow residency programs in Texas. And again, these are all the things that podiatrists can do, right? They go to private practice, work in multi-specialty clinics, academics like myself. You can go to the government. work in the VA system, in the Indian reservation. The Indian health system is a big one. And in fact, you can grow and become, leaders in the, administrative kind of works. For example, the CMO, the Chief Medical Officer of Valley Baptist Brownsville, Dr. Ayala, he's a podiatrist. So there's a lot of opportunities for professionals to do this. The first 2 years are very similar to dental school, medical school, except that there is one particular module that is only specific to lower extremity. So you're not only taking the basic science, but you are learning about the foot and actually about the lower extremity from your first year all the way to your half or your third year. And then into your third and fourth year, you go into your clinical rotations. And then that's where you learn the rest of your medicine programs, right? Family medicine, general surgery, orthopedics, radiology, anesthesia, psychiatry, neurology. You do all those rotations as a student and then eventually as a resident as well. And then residency, you learn medical care, primary care, specific to the lower extremity, and also about general medicine and general surgery. And then you're more focused in lower extremity surgery for 3 years when you're doing your residency training. But the great thing that most people don't know is that you can actually subspecialize, right? So think about dentistry, for example. You go to a general dentist, but there are dentists that do orthodontics, right? And there are dentists that do gum surgery, do periodontics. They're one that deal with kids, right? And so on. Medicine is the same way. You go into orthopedics, plastic surgery, vascular surgery, family medicine. Well, podiatry is the same way. You can, you can do diabetes. If you want to, you can be a general practitioner, but you can do sport medicine, pediatric, geriatrics, infectious disease. You can really specialize. Believe it or not, in the foot and the ankle, you can do that. That's how much of areas of that you can take care of on the foot and the ankle, and you'll keep you busy. Trust me. For any of these areas that you go into, you'll be very busy. But what about the School of Podiatric Medicine? Well, I told you, right? The first School of Podiatric Medicine in Texas is the 10th in the nation, but it's the only state-funded school in the U.S., meaning it's the only public school, meaning that the tuition is half of any of the other schools. All the other schools in podiatry are mostly private schools. So the students here, they're going to have the advantage to, cut their tuition in half. Basically, the cost of living, right, it's a lot cheaper than going to Miami or New York City or Chicago, where the other schools are. So the student debt getting a healthcare profession is low, compared to many others. So that's very important. We did get the candidate status in June 9, 2022. The school is going to be in Harlingen campus. So we are currently housed in Edinburgh, but this is temporary. We're actually planning the big move next week. So we are in Harlingen campus in the clinical education building. We are approved to have 40 students. That's the maximum. That's approved by the state legislature and the coordinating board. And 90% of those has to be with, from Texas, where we can only get 4 out of states students. And this is just applicable, right, to any profession in the graduate degree in the UT system. We start the August 1st is the August 1st start our orientation, and it goes to about for 3-4 days. And August 8th is the first day of class. We have, since we started the recruitment kind of late, we probably have about 13 students that has accepted. We hope that we're probably going to get about 18 to 20, and that's always been the goal because we started the recruitment and it's really been word of mouth. Some of the marketing that the marketing department has helped us, but we were shooting from about 18 to 20, but I don't think we foresee any problem from the other years to have filling pretty much the classes. So again, I think this is my last slide. I'm glad that opportunity to address you. I'm open for any questions now or whenever it's indicated during this session. Email is javier.lafontaine@utrgv.edu. Please contact me. Feel free to stop by or shoot me an email and I answer any question. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. LaFontaine. We do have a question, and it's from Ms. Elizabeth Salinas. And so she says, welcome, Dr. LaFontaine. Why is it that women are more likely to have issues than men? And are many foot problems attributed to shoes or to general health?
Yeah. Well, the first question, typically, women's is probably the fact that it's related to shoe gear, for example, and I don't mean just wearing pumps and tight shoes, but if you think about it, even the shoes that you go and buy, even sneakers, even though they're men's and females, often the structure is very similar. Like if you go and buy your Nike, you get men's and women Nikes, for example. But they are sometimes they're very specific companies that make the shoes because women tends to have a very narrow heel. And that even when you go and buy a women's shoe, most of these sneakers do not provide a lot of support. So that's one aspect. Obviously, the aspect of the tight shoe, right? The toe box, what we call on the shoe. They're not wide enough where we're, women are required a lot of the time to use that type of shoe. That's one. Two, when you compare to men health, foot health, men's, for example, are more neglect type of personality, right? We don't wear shoes, we wear them until they run out. And that itself is very detrimental also. But females tend to be more cautious about that, when it comes to looking at the right shoe and things like that, which should help with taking care of your foot health. But in general, I think it's just probably the way the industry have designed the shoes and the selection of shoes sometimes that women's use to wear at work and things like that. And the second part of the question about the health, most of the problems that we see in the foot are arthritic related, and obviously that goes back to the type of shoes that we wear and the joints. For example, the foot have 26 bones, and they all have all these small joints, right? So, but we are down here, especially in the valley, with probably a culture of sandals and flip-flops. So you have all those joints moving on, with instability. When you are 40, 50, 60, you will develop some degree of arthritis, for example. But like, for example, when it comes to diabetes, it's a blood flow thing, right? So all the vessels that goes out of the heart are thick, but when they go all the way to your foot, they're really small. So what we eat, diabetes, the first vessels to occlude are the smaller ones, right? So it's affect your feet again. So you lose circulation in your feet, your health, you don't have blood flow, right? Your skin becomes unhealthy. Your toenails, your bone, your muscle becomes unhealthy. Your nerve becomes unhealthy. So all that becomes this global disease on your foot that shows, right, and manifests in the foot. And lastly, there are diseases are very specific to the foot, right? You know, there are certain cancers that are more, occurs more in the foot, but yet, even if they present with pain, often the foot doctors, you go and see a doctor and say, well, I got heel pain. Well, they say it's plantar fasciitis. That's what most people have. Nobody look about you having cancer on the heel bone, which can happen, right? So that's kind of the problem that you see, is that lack of knowledge of what can happen in the foot and the physiology behind it that deals to developing those problems.
Thank you for that educational piece.
Sure.
We do have a couple more questions, and I know we want to make sure your time is used wisely. But we're so excited to learn all about this. So
yes,
about feet, right?
Good. Good.
So we have a comment from John Asdo. You mentioned problem-based learning in the curriculum. What is problem-based learning?
Yes. So this is a great question. So problem-based learning is what probably for the past 10, 15 years has been used mostly in when you think STEM, you know, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, right? And it's being adapted in medical education. Is where traditional schooling usually teach textbooks, right? What you can learn, and then you go to the real world and you apply it. So problem-based learning is learning textbooks and the basics, but applying it, giving an application that you can learn also in school. So when you go into the real world, you're more mature. Your transition is much better, which is perfect in medicine, right? I can give a lecture, I can give a semester of physiology and talk about occlusion of vessels, your heart pumping, and all this, right? But then if I never make the connection until you are in your third, fourth year, or even in residency, about what pumping of the heart means, listening, you lost that 4 years, right? So problem-based learning is learning physiology, and then I bring a clinical case into a different session. And let's say you guys been learning about the anatomy of the heart, the physiology of the heart, the basic science of the blood. Let's talk about Mr. John, 50 years old, male with diabetes, have a heart attack. And then let's talk about what you learn in this classroom, in what means clinically. And you can do that from the first year of education. So then students get to apply what they're learning in the basic science into a problem-based case, a real case that we can discuss and get the student get more involved in their learning.
That's awesome. And we have one more comment. And so we have it from Mr. Juan Munoz. May you please debunk some common foot myths?
Yeah, say it again. What was the question?
Yes, may you please debunk some common foot myths? So, Mr. Munoz, I don't know, is there one that you've heard recently or you've heard of?
Yeah.
Just like, wide toe shoes, or like, this whole zero drop. Is it marketing, or is there some truth to this like zero drop movement? This, feeling all the 7,000 nerves, your feet feeling the ground versus having layers and layers of cushion, and now you're not getting any feedback. So could you just, is that's kind of one of the examples?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think I believe there's probably more myth than reality, right? Because we learn evidence-based medicine, and obviously many things that goes out there and people talk about it. The way they describe it, it makes sense, right? I mean, that's true. You have a lot of nerve in your foot, right? And they are very sensitive. And I don't know, I even have a pair of socks at one point somebody gave me where You put your socks and then you'll show your stomach and your intestine, and then you can press in there and that change, right? And but the evidence, the scientific evidence there is not really there. But there are people that talked about it. And I have patients that I see in my clinic that say, I've been on this, foot reflexology, and I really got better. And if you did, please do, because the goal is, right, you need to get better, right? But that doesn't mean all of us in this meeting gonna get better with that, right? So I think you need to look at very carefully to that. I mean, for example, acupuncture 50 years ago in the US, it wasn't something to consider. And now people use it, right? I wouldn't go in there and start, in layman's term, start just dumping $150 a visit with the hope that that's going to help you. You need to do a little bit of more research before you embark on that. But there is some marketing, and there might be some truth on it. The evidence doesn't really support it, and I think that's where we can serve you as a source, right, to some of your dilemma when it comes to that.
I think we have one more, but Vicente Reina, there's one more question, and then we want to make sure we go to our next speaker. Yeah. What's the best method to treat or prevent plantar fasciitis?
Yes, that's a good question. I was expecting it, because plantar fasciitis is probably the most common reason you're ever gonna see a podiatrist. Okay, plantar fasciitis is a heel pain. Okay, and plantar fasciitis has several things that are almost pathognomonic, right? You get up in the morning and you just feel like you're 90 years old. You're limping because your heel really hurts. And then during the day, it gets a little bit better. Now, when you get plantar fasciitis chronically, your heel will hurt pretty much all day. And it's based because there's a ligament that goes from your heel all the way to your toes. And that ligament stretches and it kind of sprains. So the best thing to do, very simple. You need to wear closed shoes at all times. Good shoe that you can tie. They need to be close in your heel, and they need to be rigid. So if you grab your shoe in the middle and you bend it and you fold it with minimal resistance, that's not a good shoe. Your shoe should bend at the tip, but it should not bend on the middle. Okay. And about 50% of the people, if you do that, okay, you wear those closed shoes for every day, okay, and minimize your flip-flops at home. Don't use those. About 50% of the people will get better in 6 weeks if you do that. Now, there's additional things you can do. You can get an insert over the counter that provide a lot of support, and a stretching. Just Google plantar fasciitis stretching exercises. You'll see a lot of those. Do those in the morning. I guarantee you'll get better. For most of you will get better that have heel pain.
I know personally for me, I've used a tennis ball. And so I started doing it. I was like, yeah, that feels good. I do have a colleague that said like, oh no, the sandals and the chanclas.
Yes.
So
the worst.
Yes.
the worst, those flip-flops, chanclas, they're, to make it your everyday shoe.
Yes.
It's not, it's not your choice, right? Okay, you're gonna get plantar fasciitis at some point, but if you wear them at home for a little bit, I mean, I do them every night, I wear flip-flops, but it's not my everyday shoe, because that will definitely ruin your foot.
Indeed. Yes. Well, how exciting, Dr. LaFontaine. I think all of us can agree that we all had a therapeutic advice in terms of feet. We were curious about, how we can take care of our feet. But again, like I share with my colleague Noella, very helpful information. And again, we're excited that UTRGV has you here. And I can tell you from my current role as an academic advisor that this is a wonderful opportunity for student success. And I know that it's going to create it's a bright future. And so we look forward to see what UTRGV has in store for our students and also our staff and faculty, just learning about this educational piece. And so with that, we'll make sure that, we reach out to you. I know you're going to be busy, or, your staff, just to see how we can also learn more about that. And I think that's also part of faculty and staff success, understanding those educational pieces to support our students as well, no matter what role that we're, in. So thank you very much for joining us. And we look forward to see what opportunities you create with this first school in Texas.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you again for the opportunity. This is really valuable for me and for the school as well. And looking forward to connecting with every single of you. So whatever we can do to help also the campus, please let us know. I'm sure we're all willing to participate. So
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and congratulations once again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, up next, we have our next guest speakers from the University of Marketing. We have Mr. Ben Planton, our Chief Marketing Officer, and Ms. Perla Pequeño, Assistant Director of Web Strategy and Integrated Communications.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. I apologize to everyone in advance. I am having some trouble getting my camera to work this morning, so you guys will have to just imagine my mouth moving with that photo of me here at the Zoom. But we do want to present something anyway, and so we'll probably be looking at that more than at my smiling face to begin with. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll share my screen. Give me one moment. Okay. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I do want to thank everybody for giving us the time. We are really excited to share with the Staff Senate some updates on where we are with our new website redesign. This is a project that we embarked on, gosh, a little over 2 years ago now, and frankly would have been done a long time ago if the pandemic didn't come along and derail a lot of what our typical work was and shift us into working around things like dealing with the pandemic, vaccine portals and drives, the enrollment drives around spring relief and fall relief, and all the other things that everybody here has been busy with along with us the last couple of years. But we have now gotten to a point where we're getting close to being able to launch the new UTRGV website, and we're really excited about it. Kind of the guidance that we got from leadership when we set off to do this was to have a website that had much more of a recruitment focus, looking at kind of the best in the business out there, and what their websites are doing for their institutions and how they're capturing those prospective students and their interest and getting them the information they need. We did a holistic review of our website and really found that it was a little too, outdated, a little bit too internal looking. And I think, frankly, for those of you that were here when UTPA and UTB came together, I wasn't. I joined in 2018. But a lot of when we looked back at kind of how we got the website we had now, it was a little bit of a function of, okay, we've got a couple months to put all of this together, and everything was brought over from the legacy institution websites and put together. And the priority was around launching that, not curating that content, not necessarily making some really hard choices about what should be where or how we want to present that. It was much more a process of just getting it transitioned. And we'll clean it up and we'll sort it out a little bit later. Later is here. And so we're working on that. So our mission with this new website design, and my colleague Perla here will give a live demo of what that site looks like, even though it hasn't been launched yet to everyone after I go through just a couple slides here. But our focus was really making it so that prospective students could quickly and intuitively find the resources and information they need to get to that decision point to just request more information or even to apply or to visit campus, no matter what their starting point is. So if their starting point is a Google search that takes them to a page that's 4 layers deep under the main page, they're still presented with those options, with that information, and with that intuitive, easy way of finding what they're looking for without needing to know what our organization structure is, without needing to know how to navigate our website. There really shouldn't be a learning curve on a website, right? We've also taken very much a focus on academic programs, making program discovery and comparison seamless for those prospective students. It's one thing that we hear time and time again, is that students want to be able to do that program discovery and comparison when they're choosing where they want to apply to school and where they want to enroll. And one thing that our current website wasn't doing a good job of was making it easy for them to discover and compare those programs. You can imagine as a high school student, you'd have to know what college a particular major is in order to navigate yourself through our menus to find that program. It makes it hard for our programs that are really looking for those interested students to find them. And it makes it really hard for those students to seamlessly go back and forth across our website as they're discovering the academic programs that might be a fit for them. And finally, really an intuitive user experience, right? Nobody should have to learn a website. I think when we all think of the websites we go to on a daily basis in our lives, if a major, Fortune 500 company launches a new website, it doesn't need an explanation user guide, right? It's designed in a way that is intuitive, that is mobile first, that a user can come in and navigate it without wondering, how do I find what I need? Where is that thing, right? It shouldn't require a webinar to learn a website. It should be intuitive. And I think we all experience that a lot in our daily lives. And we're trying to get our website to the point where it catches up to that user experience and user interface design. And I think finally, and last importantly on this slide, we really designed this so that the website could be actively managed and constantly improved on. So, we might have a button in a certain place. And if we find that is not the place where people need to find it, where it's not getting clicked on the way we thought it would, we're going to move that button, right? We're going to have a lot more dynamic content. This is not meant to be static, set it and forget it. This is meant to be something that we are going to actively manage on a daily basis and constantly improve upon with everybody's feedback, both students, our faculty, our staff, and our community. I did want to touch for a minute on kind of how we went about this. We really purposely didn't want to do this in a vacuum. It's not about what do I think is a great design for a website. I am a sample size of one, and I'm a few decades beyond when I was making a decision about where I wanted to attend college. So I'm also not the most relevant kind of source of information and truth on what prospective students are looking for. But we really took maybe 7 different angles on how we approach what the design should be, how it should function, how it should work. We had a focus group of 300 prospective high school students that we worked with on this slide. I say over 12 months. It was really closer to 2 years on all matters of design, information pathways, where they would intuitively find things, where they would expect to find things, what was valuable to them or not. And we just constantly went back to that focus group with a lot of questions and to test our ideas and be very open-minded where they might not think what we are suggesting was the best solution. We also did an internal survey of a sample of UTRGV users. We did a lot of peer institution comparisons and leveraged third-party consultant reports. And then finally, we had our own user experience, user interface design experts that analyzed a lot of usage data. So not just a designer saying, what do they think looks good, but really looking at the data and saying, how many people actually click on that? What is the heat map of that site? What actually gets used a lot? And really using that to guide a lot of our design. And so with that, we're taking a phased approach to how we're launching this, and for a lot of reasons, right? I mean, there's the old adage that like the only way to eat a whale is one bite at a time. Our website is currently over 40,000 pages, and so it's enormous. There is no kind of flick a switch and everything's going to be updated on day one, but also by putting it in phases, it doesn't let us just kind of tackle the most critical issues first and kind of work our way down and kind of the layers of the cake here. But it lets our experience with launching that first phase help inform the decisions we make and in the second phase and then onward into the third phase. So phase one is really a focus on that top level homepage. Academic programs and college landing pages are all pages related to recruiting. So including things like financial aid, international students, scholarships and grants, admissions, everything around that. And then resource pages. So really a build out of resource pages for our staff. I think particularly relevant to the Staff Senate here, a staff resource page where we can have a one-stop shop for all the resources staff are looking for, where that is dynamic. And as frankly, Staff Senate comes to us and says, hey, we want this section added. We want these links changed. We want to add this here. We're going to be able to do all of that. And when Perla gets to showing you guys the demo, she'll show you that page. It's meant to be just the facts, ma'am, and intuitive and easy to find what you want without having to click through a lot of menus, a lot of pages, and kind of drilling down to get there. And so right now where we are at phase one is we're really going through with that fine-tooth comb on these pages and saying, do we have what we need before launch, with a target of going live of August 14th to get it live at least 2 weeks before the first day of class. So we've got those first 2 weeks after go live to sort out any issues that might pop up, something that's different in the live environment than the test environment. And then immediately we're going into phase two. So phase one won't end. We'll constantly be, like I said, actively managing those pages that are up, taking people's feedback, making the changes we need to make. But then we're going to go into phase two, which is those division and college websites, right? So getting down to the division and college level, really working, I think a lot of the work will be to streamline that website experience and doing a comprehensive review and cleanup of those pages in collaboration with those colleges, those departments, those units. None of this is us making a decision about someone else's content without their input. But I think this goes back to what I mentioned early on, which was we can see there's out of those 40,000 pages that exist on our site, we have some web pages that are literally a single line of text that has not been edited in 7 years. A whole web page, a single line of text. And it looks like it was something that was just brought over and forgotten about. And that's the kind of thing that, we want to either get it together with other stuff that's relevant on another page or maybe even just delete it. We don't need to be in a Google fight with ourselves, so to speak, where a prospective student or somebody who's considering working at the university does search and then lands on a page that doesn't put our best foot forward and also doesn't, contain any relevant or current information for them. So it'll really be working through that. That is a process that we're going to work on with all of the colleges and departments and divisions over the next year. Hopefully by this time next year, going live with that next phase. We might be able to accelerate that if we're able to add a few resources. I think everyone in this meeting can appreciate that's challenging right now, but I'm confident that it's going to be a good process, and hopefully we can accelerate that launch date. And then phase three is then just one layer further down in those departmental and unit websites, that same approach of doing that comprehensive review and cleanup, getting everything to look and feel and navigate the same. So it's that same intuitive, seamless user experience for people who come to the site. And so I will pause there if there's any questions for me, but I think it might be best. I'll leave it up to this group. I can answer a few questions, or we could go to the live demo of the site that Perla can walk you all through, and then we can answer everybody's questions after you've had a chance to see it, because her presentation might answer some of the questions that you have.
That sounds good.
Okay, well then with that, Perla, are you there? I think I'll hand it over to you and we can go to you sharing your screen.
For sure. let me go over.
And I hope I didn't go too quick. I was mindful of the time, knowing we all had a lot of podiatry related questions at the front end of this.
You're good. You're good. All of this is good information. So.
Okay, I hope everybody can see my screen.
Yes.
So let me move a few things out of the way. All right. Well, yes, as Ben mentioned, thank you for the time. We are very excited to be here and show you this. It's kind of been a long process, but we really wanted to show you guys this of what's coming up, and also be able to get your feedback. And then as we progress, please know that we're going to be touching base with a few of you guys of your departments, just to be able to get all of this put together the right way, and then be put out into the world so that everybody can see our new site. This is the new UTRGV website. As Ben mentioned, is strategically more for focus on prospective students. So we heard a lot of our students, we heard a lot of our internal students as well, prospective and internal. And a lot of the pain points was, I can't find this, I can't find that, I don't understand this, there's too many clicks to dig into a specific programs, I don't know where to find my programs. So we just wanted to make it very simple and streamlined for them, right? So as you come into the site, you're going to see that there is 3 calls to actions right away. And I'm going to touch base on a few of the features, of the highlight features that we have, not throughout the whole site, but you will see a lot of the pages throughout. So right off the bat, we try to direct the students right away. So we have calls to actions for undergrad students, prospective undergrad, graduate students, and of course, we haven't forgotten about our existing students. So current students are always still going to have their resource page, their resource home, but prospective students is the ones that we're always going to be kind of focus on and tunnel on as we progress into the main homepage. As you scroll down, we added a few features, which is our Explores program section. And this is something that we do not have at the moment. This is something that the students really wanted, really needed to have, like right off the bat on their face. So with very easy, quick access. So this is going to allow the students to either keyword and information, try to find a college program by either name, subject or keyword, discipline, a college, even by location, or even by degree type. If a student does not know what to do, we understand a lot of prospective students don't really know where to go or what they're even looking for, right? We do include an upcoming section for popular programs that we can always highlight academic programs that might be something of interest to the students. And again, this is always going to be based on the data that we gather on analytics or surveys that we put out to students. So on our search program, the cool things that we can do here is, again, as I mentioned, let's say that a student wants to come in and just look for something in communications, right? We know right now that's communications. So the search is going to allow you to either provide you some search answers. I'm just going to type the whole word right now, but it does have that functionality. So as soon as I type communication, what it does is that it tries to find all the areas of communications that you might have with the academic programs that we might have within UTRGV, which is pretty cool. So for example, one of the things that I wanted to do, let me bring this down a little. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to say is mass communications, right? So if I want to go into mass communication, we try to provide a brief of information of the program, sort of like an overview, goals of the program. And then once somebody clicks on to visit the program itself, it's going to take them right away to the page. So these are landing pages for academic programs, and that's pretty much what we're going to be focusing on a lot. So a lot of our content is driven by the collaboration that we had with that academic college, and bringing out information that they had, putting out quotes from their existing students, their existing alum. So we're trying to bring in kind of like this overview, this huge, not a lot of detailed information, but just enough that the student can see and then follow through, right? Again, our focus is going to be to get them to that application or get them to request information, just to get them to have all of those call to actions that students really want to see right away, right? With that, so this is on the academic program side. Again, we're covering all the academic programs within the institution. So it's been quite a task to be able to gather all this information. We do include some call to action. Some students are leaning towards viewing the curriculum. They really want to see what the courses are within this program. So we are definitely providing that information to them. Another example of that is this one has a degree roadmap. I know that that was part of student success side. So yes, again, we are providing a few key information for the students that they really need to see. So as we go back to the homepage, as Ben mentioned, there's going to be a few sections where we're going to be highlighting financial information for the students, anything that's going to really get them to apply, or not apply, but just get them to find more information quicker, right? A lot of the students don't really know how to find information, so we're trying to bring them into them right away. And as also on the staff side, what we wanted to do is provide those resources. So we haven't forgotten about what we have right now on UTRGV. We are geared towards prospective students. However, we do have all these resources sites for our existing community, right? So for the staff and resources, this is all links and information that we currently have on our site. So if there is always something that needs to be changed or information that needs to be added, removed, we can always do that. We're trying to make it just simple for people to find information fast. And that's including our internal audiences. And also with that, we haven't forgotten about faculty as well. So we have staff, we have faculty, we have our current students. These are the overall pages for our prospective students. So if they want to go into admissions, we're going to have admissions informations for freshmen, for transfer, all the other categories as well. So yes, please know that we are in the process of still combing the site with content that's going to be relevant to them. And we're going to be doing that probably until the day that we launch, right? So again, graduate admissions as well, and some key information that the students might need right away or might need to see. Again, call to actions at the very bottom. So this is what we have so far. I don't know right now if you guys have any information. As Ben mentioned, this is the main look for the main www site. I call it www, but our main home site. When we go into the different stages of different departments, this look is going to vary a little bit. It's not going to be completely set on this, but please know that we're going to try to follow that branding and that standard all throughout our sites. And that's from the academic, colleges, departments, subunits, offices, anything that is below our whole unit of UTRGV. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions? I see the chat going on and on.
No, thank you, Perla. I think that was really wonderful. I did see one question from Nikki in the chat, where the My UTRGV link is going to be. We're going to have it very prominent in the menu. So part of a few things that you're seeing here are, us showing you guys a preview that's still in draft mode, but it's going to be easy, prominent, one of the first things you can click. And we just don't have that widget updated for the sake of today's presentation, but you know, we're still a month out from going live. We just wanted to be able to show this to this group, even though it's not final. We didn't want to wait to show it to you all the day before it goes live. We wanted to give everyone this preview, but that is something that's going to be prominent and front and center right there in the menu for everybody, right next to the faculty, staff, and student resources.
So one of the things that we did notice on our surveys and our feedback back from the students is that you really need to funnel them, right? And you need to really funnel people when you start designing towards the site and how you want them to move around. Really, the two options that we have up here is just to search on our main UTRGV or to go to the main menu. And the main menu is where you will find all the information, whether it's call to actions, whether it's existing resources like newsroom or directory, my UTRGV, and then again, the other resources pages that I mentioned. So we're really trying to gather everything in one place so that you don't have to be looking all over the site. Is it on the side? Is it, you know, on the top? Is it at the bottom? You know, there's only one place where you can really find it.
And I go back to, you know, what we led with in the presentation was we've really been doing a deep dive on the data of what actually people actually click, right? On our own webpage, to the point of this particular question, most people either click immediately on search or on my UTRGV. Actually, it's something like over 90, I don't know the exact percentage, Perla, but like overwhelming majority of clicks are either on the search box or on my UTRGV. To the point where it's overwhelmingly what people are going to. And then we also find that most people find what they need currently by doing a Google search that includes UTRGV and the thing they're looking for, because our search functionality on our page and navigation of our current page isn't great. I think a lot of people here, I can't see everyone's faces, but are probably smiling or nodding because they all do that same thing. I think a lot of people will just pop open Google and do a Google search for the thing they're looking for on our site. We've really tried to really seriously upgrade kind of the nuts and bolts you can't see visually here, but what's in the background, our search functionality on the page, making it more accurate, more powerful, more useful. And then taking a view to what's included in that menu of giving people what they're looking for without having to dig for it. So that's things like putting, you know, that staff resources, faculty resources, student resources page right there in the first click from the menu, rather than people having to dig for that down through a particular department's website or through, you know, a menu drop down and breakout 4 different times to get what they need. And so on an ongoing basis, kind of our commitment to everyone is we're going to keep taking that data informed approach of feedback and saying, if there's something people are really searching for a lot or clicking on a lot that we haven't made prominent enough, we're going to be finding ways to make it so people can get to that in 1 click instead of 2 clicks, right? And just that ongoing focus on that user experience and user interface and giving people what they need where they need it without them having to dig for it.
And then just also for everybody's knowledge, just know that all of that analytics is also going to be transferred onto the department site. So we are going to be able to report and have all this data with the units and subunits, departments, colleges, so that we can kind of like better look at your site and better assess whatever it is and type of content that you really need on your site. It's something that we have some of it existing right now, but is not as well as it is with this new configuration. So we're really excited that we can actually bring that data to you all and that you guys can see it, right? And then make an assessment of whether this content is actually right for the department, and can we add something else that can definitely benefit the traffic on your site, or, you know, if it's something on events, or if it's something for a specific campaign that you're driving on your site. You know, we are going to really be able to see all this information more defined, you know, for that matter, in terms of analytics.
Thank you all. We do have a couple of questions. We do have Dr. Kip Hinton, our Faculty Senate President. So the UTRGV Athletics logo in italics is now the main logo.
So a few years ago, we really made a transition away from that being a quote athletics logo. We've been using that as one of our main logos, along with what we call the Rocking R logo, for a few years, much more broadly than athletics. And I think anybody who might be on the line who's involved in undergraduate recruiting in particular has seen that they have used what this mark, we call it the UTRGV Spirit mark, a lot, certainly in recruiting. Prospective students, they found a lot of resonance with it out in the marketplace and with prospective students. We still absolutely use our more academic logo, the Rocking R, but with this top level of the website being very focused on prospective students, getting them in the top of our funnel, getting them interested, getting them engaged. Yeah, we're absolutely been leaning into this UTRGV Spirit mark as the one that's resonating with that audience the most. I don't think it's the case that we've decided to go away from a certain brand or towards a certain brand. These are ones that we use side by side all the time. And I think you see that the university uses the more academic, what we call the Rocking R or the academic mark in a lot of things, and we use the Spirit mark in a lot of things. There are certain departments that will use this on their business card, and there's certain departments that will use the academic mark on their business card, for example. So those are both used throughout the university in different ways and for different audiences. And we tend to take that audience focus on which one we're using. So if somebody's going to an academic conference, they're much more likely to be using that Rocking R academic mark. If somebody is doing something that has to do with undergraduate life and school spirit, they're much more likely to be using this Spirit mark. I hope that helps.
Yes.
And I see the next question about, will new templates be available to departments and divisions? Absolutely. And so that's what I described in that phase 2 and phase 3 in my PowerPoint at the beginning. Right now, we're getting that really this top level, that top layer of the cake here, launched in August, which is going to have this look and feel and landing pages for these programs, the Program Explorer, the improved search and menu functions, everything related to recruiting. And then we're immediately going to be spending the next year working through with departments and divisions, rolling out new templates, working with them on what they need, right? And what needs to be included in that. And I think if there's people on the line now who are saying, well, I haven't heard from anybody on this, nothing's going to be imposed upon anyone's department or division. We just haven't gotten to that point of the collaborative process with your department or division yet. We have been spending a lot of time on kind of affected areas of this first layer. And as we kind of go to that next layer, that next phase, you're going to be hearing from our team, and we're going to be working collaboratively with everyone on how to transition things and what to transition and when. And we're really looking forward to that. I think one thing that we've tried to do is a lot of active listening, a lot of research, a lot of kind of data-led decision making. But a key part of that is, we are not the experts in what everyone here does. You're the experts in what you do. And so as we get to kind of each department and each division and unit, and we have those conversations, I think you're going to find that's a collaborative process. And we, to the extent you haven't heard from us yet, there's a reason. It's just because we haven't gotten to that phase yet.
Great. Mm-hmm. We do have one with regards to department updates. Is there anything we can do now to prepare? Example, looking to current content, finding outdated info, anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no reason we should wait to delete out or update outdated info. I think to the extent that you can make sure your web pages reflect necessary information, current information, things that aren't outdated, and we're getting rid of the things that don't need to be there. We're adding the things that do need to be there. That's something we all need to constantly be doing anyway, but that will absolutely smooth the process and make it quicker and easier when we get to the point of updating those departments or units pages. Is, do we need to do we need to clean everything first before we start, building a new page, or are we pretty much like, hey, our content has been pretty well curated and we feel great about it? Our team may still have some suggestions that might help with search engine optimization and getting you higher in the Google rankings and things like that. But to the extent you can start making those passes through your own pages to get outdated things off or get them updated, that's going to make the work a lot easier as that day comes.
Yes, definitely.
All right, well, we thank you all, and especially Ms. Jennifer McGee Valdez, our Director of Public Relations, for setting this up. And we look forward to seeing what you all have in store for us. I think this is also a new vision, also like moving on forward to see how we can better serve all of our stakeholders in the university. So we're very excited. And so
we're excited too, and we can't thank you guys enough for the time. And we're all staff members at the university too. So a lot of this, the things you guys have all been waiting for, are a lot of the things we've been waiting for in that self-serving way of things we want to see as staff. And so we're really excited that we've been able to have the opportunity to come and present this and share it, and excited about just being able to launch it and get into it together.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. We appreciate you all, the hard work.
Thank you.
All right. So up next, it was not part of our agenda, but we decided to get her on board. And we have Dr. Trini Yunus. She is our Director of Human Resources. She will share a couple of things in regards to the holiday calendar and the announcement that was put out this week from our President's office. Dr. Trini Yunus.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Good morning, all. I'm so happy to be here. I think this is a great opportunity for the Office of Human Resources to talk about this topic, that it is so important, which is benefits annual enrollment, and especially this year because there are a lot of changes. And before I go into more detail, I do want to mention that one of the senators, Rolando, who works in HR, he's a senator for the Division of Finance and Administration. He will be assisting me. Hi, Rolando. Good morning. Rolando Segovia, benefits representative. So in case if I miss something that is important that needs to be mentioned, he'll help me with that. And then if I get stuck in any of the links that I'm going to be sharing as well, he can help me with that. So thanks, Rolando, for assisting me. So what I want to talk about, let me start sharing. Can I share already, Yadira?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let me share my big monitor. And I think this should work. Can you see it already?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. All right, so on the right-hand side of my monitor, this is the announcement that it's the most important announcement that went out. Well, on top of the announcement, there was an announcement first from Dr. Bailey on Tuesday, July 12th at around 2:57, 3 p.m. So among other things, Dr. Bailey mentioned the importance of this year's annual enrollment and how the university is taking the lead, being a flagship higher education institution and operation among all the other UT system institutions to have this aid for all of the employees, staff, and faculty who make $125,000 or less per year. In regards to subsidizing the increase, the big impact that we are getting this year on the benefits, on the medical plan. So the follow-up or what we did after that is HR presented this email, and this was yesterday, July 13, around noon, 11:26 a.m., where we're explaining a little bit more on how that's going to be handled. So, of course, first of all, annual enrollment starts tomorrow, and then goes for 2 weeks from July 15 through the 31st. So anybody that needs to make any changes to their current medical, dental, vision, life plans should go ahead and submit their changes through annual enrollment. And but there's also, and of course, if employees do not wish to make changes, they want to maintain their same enrollments for the next fiscal year, that's fine. They don't have to take any action. Only if there is flex, if they have a flex account for dependent or medical flex, then that has to be re-enrolled every year. So in regards to the increases, I do want to tell the story because it's an important one. A couple of months back, about 7-8 weeks ago, we started hearing from the Office of Employee Benefits at UT System that this year was going to be a big impact to our plan and to the cost of the plan, not only for the employer, for the campuses, for the UT institutions, but also for the employees. Overall, back then, the conversation was there was going to be an overall impact of 21% increase to the cost. And of course, it caught everyone by surprise. We did expect an increase because we have not had increases in the plan at all in the last 3 years. And that was, of course, because of the pandemic. I mean, the UT system, the Office of Employee Benefits, and the campuses we're all trying to maintain the cost down in order to avoid being hit by an increase when there were so many things going on in our world. So due to that, and because of the high cost of COVID and all COVID related illnesses and hospitalizations and COVID testing and all that, the plan suffer an increase in expenses. So in order to, since this is a self-funded plan, in order to maintain the funding for the plan for the following year, the decision was to pass on the increase to the campuses. And that 21% went down to, after much discussion and reviewing how we could mitigate the cost increase, it went down to 15.7%. So we were at about 15.7% 3 weeks ago. And last week, finally, we received word. I mean, this is the first time ever in, I don't know, I think probably 10 years that I've been here, that I've seen that the prices and the premiums have been released so late in the right before the enrollment period. So last week we heard that the chancellor and the presidents and the chief business officers were having conversations about how to still continue to mitigate that increase. And we learned that it was going to be taken down to 7.5% increase. But while all of that was happening, we were having conversations internally with the executive team and the president, how we were going to help our employees, our staff and faculty to not receive this direct impact from the premium increase. So thankfully, and thanks to a lot of people that were involved in this process, I received the approval that we were going to be able to subsidize the increase for our employees. And of course, with some limitations, and especially in regards to the salary and who can receive the subsidy. But even without knowing exactly how much the increase was going to be, the institution, UTRGV, said, yes, we're going to go ahead and help on this. So that was fantastic news. So I was very happy with that, with the outcome. And finally, this week, we received the increase, the 7.5%. We received the materials. And that's when Dr. Bailey went ahead and communicated it, and we followed up with this. So the reason why I'm mentioning all of this is because I would like for everyone to know how intense this was and how the institution really stepped up and took ownership of this and protected its employees from such a big impact. So the overall increase for full-time UT Select medical coverage, that 7.5 translates to $20.28 increase for employee and spouse. So those that are enrolled in the medical plan, employee and spouse, that's an increase of $20.28. And then for those that have enrollment for employee and children, it's $21.22. And for the ones that have employee and family coverage, the full family coverage for the medical plan is $39.94. The cost for employee only, since the employee is fully subsidized by the plan and by the institution, so there's increase to that premium, of course, as well. but the employee doesn't pay for any of that medical plan for themselves. So that's why there's no subsidy for the employee only. So all of this goes into effect, of course, September 1. And then this is going to be something that it's going to be showing on the payroll for employees under benefit subsidy. We will HR, and with the help of the payroll office, we will be processing all the subsidies through the payroll. And it will depend not on what your current enrollment is right now, but what you do enroll for annual enrollment during annual enrollment for effective September 1 for the new fiscal year. So that's that in regards to the subsidy. In the announcement, we also sent a couple of links, and those links take us to basically the website, our HR website. And let me see if I can, okay. This is kind of hard because I see this tab on the top and I cannot see my, let me do this real quick. How do we do this? Okay, I think I got it. Yep, I got it. All right. So if we go to the HR website, or we start from the UTRGV website, we can go to HR under About, and then click Human Resources. And in there, you're going to see these flyers, these banners on the top of the page. If you go to this banner, which is the Employee Benefits and Wellness Virtual Fair, and we're going to add here the dates for annual enrollment that I mentioned already. July 15th through the 31st. So if you click here, that's where you will find all of the resources that the benefits office put together for employees. And we do have also, so we had, as most of you might know, we had the Benefits and Wellness Virtual Fair last week, and all of the live recordings from all of the sessions that we had those 2 days on the 7th and 8th last week, they're also located here. So if you missed the benefits fair, I do encourage you to go to this page and go to the live recordings, and you're going to find all of the presentations there for all the team meetings that we had. If we go back to this page, this is the additional benefits and resources. And in here, you're going to see under this tab, you're going to see the virtual fair portal. So this is something very innovative that the benefits office put together for our virtual event this year. It takes, so if you click on this one, it's going to take you to this page. And this virtual environment, it's very fun to play with it. It does have a lot of information. You're gonna see that it's like going into if we were in the valve room, this is all of the presentations that the vendors will have. It's better to, once you get to this one, to the virtual, it's better, instead of using the mouse, just better to use the arrows on your keyboard. So I'm gonna try to do it right here. So I can just move forward, turn around. That has the sessions, the agenda for the sessions that we had. You keep going. I hope I don't make you dizzy. And then you're gonna see on the left-hand side, UTEAP resources. You can go in here. There's some videos that you can play. Express Scripts, Vision, Superior Vision. There's some QR codes. When you click with your phone and you look at those QR codes, it gives you more resources that you can look up on your phone. We have Maestro Health for the Flex. More videos. Sorry about that. Hope it's not making you dizzy. Life AD&D, and I'll talk about that in a minute. We're having some increases on the basic life for this plan year. And then there's the wellness resources, Learn to Live. You can spend some time here, and it's very user friendly as long as you use the arrows. Like I said, don't try to use your mouse because then this virtual environment doesn't really like mouse. So going back here, there's another thing I want to mention. There's another email that is also very important, which is a matter of health, the special annual enrollment email that the Office of Employee Benefits sends every year. In that email, that was sent Sunday at night. Most people should have received it somewhere around 8 p.m. And since they send it to everyone, it could be the time could be different for different employees. But it was basically sent out on Sunday night on July the 10th. And if you go there, you're gonna see, let me go here. You're gonna see a link to this page. So this is the primary page from UT System on how to log in to manage your UT benefits. So starting tomorrow, if you go to that email, you click there, and I'll show you different ways on how you can do it, because you can also do it from our HR benefits website as well. But basically, this is where you will do your annual enrollment starting tomorrow to make all of your elections. It does have a couple of videos, some presentations, some highlights. But if you go to our website, to HR, and just click on the benefits website, down here we have the same information, just in a few links. So if you look at the annual enrollment highlights for this upcoming year, and this is what I wanted to make sure that I mentioned, UT Flex, it's the maximum election for UT Flex for the year is $2,850 now, and it remains at about $5,000 for dependent care. So for medical, for health is $2,850, and then for dependent care it remains at $5,000, the maximum. The other highlights for the year are what I was saying, the group term life insurance in AD&D. So from $40,000 is going up to $50,000, and this is the actual free benefit that UT System provides to all benefit eligible employees. And then the other important part of this also for group term life and AD&D, it's that life coverage can be increased this year up to 3 times the annual salary without EOI, without evidence of insurability. If the person wants to do more than 3 times their annual salary for the life insurance, then there will be an EOI trigger. And there's some important deadlines for EOI that the employee has to meet before the end of the calendar, or I'm sorry, the fiscal year. And I believe, Rolando, help me out. I think it's not down here, but I believe it's August 15, the deadline to submit EOI. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you, Rolando. So yeah, so if someone is doing more than 3 times their annual salary for life, they should submit through the portal, through the enrollment portal also, their evidence of insurability. So it talks about Flex again, the Living Well platform, that it's also live already. Virtual doctor, the MD Live, the copay remains at 0. And then, of course, it talks about some changes for UT retirement. And then here are the premiums. So these are the changes that I was discussing earlier from our letter over here. The 2852, 5414, I'm sorry, that's the dental. Where is the medical? Where's the medical? It's not here. Let me go to the other link. I thought I had it there. Oh, now I lost it. Okay. Here we go. Okay, these are the numbers I was discussing right here. And this is the booklet, actually. This is the annual enrollment booklet. That's and I can go back. It's right here. the guide. They call it the guide for the annual enrollment and resources guide for employees. So that's where I clicked from the benefits website. And here are the premium increases. So the other thing that I do want to mention as well, I do encourage everyone to review this guide, this handbook, because in here on page 8, there's going to be some important changes to the plan that everybody needs to be aware of, because next time you go to the doctor, you're going to see that there were some increases to the office visits, for example. So the office visit for practitioners stayed at $30, but now specialty has increased to $50, from $35 to $50. So employees need to be prepared for that. They need to let their significant other, their dependents on their plan about this, because that's gonna change effective September 1. For UT Health is $20 still, but for specialty, for UT Health specialty, it went up from $25 to $40. Urgent care went from $35 to $50, and then the deductibles also increased for the year. And like I said, all of this had to be done because of the increases to the plan, to the cost of the program. We did have a lot of discussions on where to try to minimize these increases, but I mean, unfortunately, still some things had to change. So, but the good news, of course, the fantastic news is that there will not be a direct impact to the monthly premium cost to employees. The other website, well, I talked about that. This comes again from this website, from the Employee Benefits and Wellness Fair website, which has all of the recordings, the additional resources, the book, the guide, the handbook. This link is when you click to the UTRGV. If you go to UTRGV, that's another way on how to do enrollment. If you go to the UTRGV homepage, let me see if I can move this again, because I cannot see the top part. There we go.
Dr. Eunice, I'm sorry, but I just want to remind you, you do have a couple more minutes left.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. So if you go to my UTRGV, if you log into my UTRGV, once you log in, on the icons that show up here on the left-hand side, you're going to see one that says my UT benefits. Once you click to that icon, to that my UT benefits icon, it's going to take you to this page. In here, you can put Rio, and you select Rio Grande Valley. Click select. Oops. Maybe it timed out. Hopefully not. There we go. And this is my UT benefits website. So you see it went directly into my link. And this is where you're gonna hit annual enrollment. So right now you're not gonna see the link yet because it opens up tomorrow. But basically this is another way where you can go in to do your annual enrollment. So I'm gonna stop right there. I'm pretty sure there's questions on the chat. If you guys can go ahead and let me know if I'm able to answer some of the questions, or Rolando can help me answer some of the questions.
As of right now, I think we're good, Dr. Eunice.
Oh, really? Okay, that's good. That's good. Hopefully it was not too confusing that that people are trying to process all of the stuff that I had to talk about this morning. But I do encourage you guys, if there's no questions right now, please reach out to us. You can email us at benefits@utrgv.edu, or you can contact any of the benefits representatives. And like I said, Rolando is here, but we have other people. We have Swelke, Omar, Janessa Eder, Janessa and Eder in Brownsville, Rolando, Swelke, and Omar in Edinburgh. Or if you just email benefits, then they'll answer your question. Or if you need to set up a meeting, they can have Zoom or Teams meetings virtually, or just a call. That's also, of course, available.
Thank you very much for that info, Dr. Eunice. In regards to the holiday calendar, can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can talk about that too, of course. I don't have my link prepared, but I can, let me stop sharing. Let me see if I can figure out how to stop sharing. I don't use Zoom that much. Let me see. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Oh, no, that's not it. Pause share. Okay, there we go. That helps.
If I can just add, Dr. Trini.
Yes, go ahead.
If employees would reach out to any benefit representative via Teams, it would be beneficial for both of us. So you can share your screen so we can easily navigate you through My UT Benefits to show you how to make your elections during annual enrollment, and also where you would need to upload supporting documentations for your dependents if you are adding your spouse and of your children as well.
Thank you, Rolando. Okay, so I'm ready to share again. So the holiday schedule, the holiday calendar, it's posted already. How do you get there? Well, HR website again. You just need to go to forms. Let me go back here. So I was here under benefits. If you just click forms, you'll see the calendar right here. And that has been posted. I think we posted it last week. And this was, of course, shared before we even, the institution, the executive team, HR, before any decisions were made. This was shared with Staff Senate for their input. And that was taken into consideration. And with their input, this is what we came up with for next year. We will be having all of these days as scheduled. The ones with asterisks have, those are skeleton crew days. And that's of course for essential services. The ones, any holiday can be substituted for an optional holiday. The only optional holidays are listed here under optional holidays. So those are days that can be swapped for any of these days with supervisor approval. And this is, of course, the holidays are for employees that work at least 20 hours per week or more. And it would be for those that work part-time, 20 hours, less than 40 hours, but more than 20, it would be prorated based on their actual FTE. Are there any questions about the calendar?
No, but I do have to say on behalf of Staff Senate that we do thank you and your team that you got Staff Senate involved in part of the process and, you know, making sure that we provided feedback from our constituents. I know we were unable to get all of our entire staff, but I believe our staff senators were able to at least provide at least a good representation of what is actually a good fit for the university. And so we do thank you for that, Dr. Yunus. I know you got to meet with Nolan and Caitlin and I in regards to that, and we shared that information with the rest of Staff Senate. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. We've been doing this the last, I think, 2-3 years, the partnership with the Staff Senate in regards to creating the holiday calendar. And it's worked out very good. I know that some years there's more days, some years there's less days. And of course, that has to do with how the Texas statute is created, the Texas code in regards to what days we can take. And that has to do, of course, when the holidays fall. If they fall on a weekend, then we cannot observe those days, which is, it is what it is, right?
Indeed.
Thank you so much for allowing us to speak to all this morning. I do encourage, like I said, you for reaching out to benefits if you have any questions about annual enrollment. And if you do have to make changes, please do that next, starting tomorrow. For the next 2 weeks, make sure you meet the annual enrollment deadlines.
Thank you so much. All right, up next, we have Staff Senator Noellen G. Yazos. Would like to give us a quick brief on a couple of things.
Thank you so much, Madam President. Good morning, everybody. There were some concerns that was brought to our attention regarding the bomb threat that occurred in the Brownsville campus on Friday, July 1st. Among them was on the timeliness of the notification that was sent out to the campus community, as well as on the evacuation process. We reached out to Campus PD and informed them of these concerns, and I would like to share their response. The apparent delay in notification to the UTRGV community versus the TSC community was due in large part to the lapse in time between when TSC Brownsville PD was aware of the threat and when UTRGV PD became aware. A UTRGV PD officer on patrol noticed Brownsville PD activity at the TSC Lee's Rusterberg Hall and stopped to inquire. And this is how our UTRGV PD received the initial notification. So it was a little bit after TSC and City of Brownsville PD. There was no direct threat to UTRGV, but due to language that the caller used, it was decided to clear the UTRGV main building out of an abundance of caution. An evaluation of the evacuation efforts of the main building revealed several areas for improvement. Additional training to our PD staff will be provided in reference to these types of evacuations. Rest assured, there was not a direct threat to UTRGV, and the threat was ultimately found to be non-credible. Nonetheless, our campus PD saw this event as a good test of our practices and procedures. They are committed to use what was learned and improve upon it. Campus PD would like to emphasize that they take their responsibility to the university community very seriously and value the feedback that they received from those they serve. So please feel free to reach out to them directly or to us, Staff Senate, or your staff senators if you have any questions or concerns that you would like to call their attention to. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank Assistant Chief Van Slusser and the entire Campus PD force for their daily commitment in making us all safe. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam Immediate Past President. All right. With that in mind, we're close to the end. So now we will now move on to the comments and announcements. We do have, I believe he had to step out, but Mr. Juan Munoz, program coordinator from the School of Music, did want to provide us a new date for the show from Ballet Folklorico. And so I'll go ahead and present that to y'all just right now. Can you all hear it? Yes. Okay. I know personally, I had the opportunity to actually attend this event, and it was actually very amazing to see our students be able to display that type of dance and just any type of dances in the culture itself. And so the new show time is actually going to take place this Saturday, July 23rd at 7:30 at the UTRGV Performing Arts Complex. And so tickets are available. I can go ahead and display the link right now in the chat so y'all can have access to that. With that in mind, do y'all have any other comments or announcements?
Staff Senator Cordelia, you've got your hands raised. You can have the floor.
Thank you. In the chat, I posted a snipping tool for my desktop. Somebody contacted me yesterday in Cameron County. They have a grant through the Catholic Charities for families that experienced any COVID-related stresses. I think the one they sent me was for rent assistance. So if you guys know people in Cameron County that were impacted by COVID that need some financial assistance, please share that with them.
Thank you very much, Senator Rosa. I think that's very important because I know personally we've had friends that have gone through that experience and don't have that support. So it's good to know about that information. Any other announcements or comments? No? All right. If there are any further public comments or questions or announcements, we will now move to make a motion to adjourn. May I have a staff senator to make that motion?
I move to conclude today's meeting.
Is there a second?
I second.
Second.
Is there any debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye in the Zoom chat. All opposed? Any abstentions?
Meeting is adjourned at 10:57 a.m.
All right. Thank you all so much. And you all have a blessed day. It is almost Friday. So as one of our colleagues said, it is Friday Junior. So we're almost there, and y'all enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great one.